How's it going, everyone? It's the new year. And in the new year, there's been a lot of problems. A lot of times that we probably felt like we failed. This new year, we look at last year and think about, COVID, family issues, anxieties. And we ask ourselves, how are we going to get through this next year? Where many other years, we might ask ourselves, yeah, it's a new year. I'm excited. I'm pumped. What am I going to do this next year? What am I going to be involved with? But with what's been going on the past year or two, it's like maybe that won't work out. Maybe we won't be able to go on vacation. Maybe there'll be another mandate or another pandemic. Or maybe this isn't over. Maybe our country's going in a different direction, and the directions it's going in, maybe it's going to be more of a problem than we ever thought it was going to be. You see, these are the conversations that we have in our homes, with our friends, with even our colleagues. What are we going to do with these challenges, with these problems? Are times where we look at the problems like we're insignificant, like even what we do or what we strive to do seems like it doesn't matter. But I'd like to come tell you that this message is to give you hope and to help you be grateful for these problems, these challenges, these hardships. Because the greater the problem, the greater the opportunity. For we are in the right place, at the right time, for the right reason. The message I'm going to give today for all of you is no problems, just opportunities. You see, number one, failures and struggles and problems aren't bad. They're not the enemy. COVID's not the enemy. The problem with your family isn't the enemy. The issues that you disagree with that person and this person believes in something polar opposite of you isn't a bad thing. This has been going on for centuries, for decades. Failures, struggles, problems aren't bad. They are just opportunities. The greatest people in all human history came when there were problems. The greatest inspirations in our lives came when they battled cancer and successfully beat it. Or maybe they didn't beat it and they went to heaven. They went to God and they remind us of what it means for somebody to battle and fight. You see, we need to rethink our problems. We need to rethink these problems and make them an opportunity. The other thoughts that I'd like to think about with no problems, just opportunities is this. If one door closes, your plan A didn't work out. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe they threw you out of your job. Maybe you're somebody out there saying, man, I want to go in a different direction. You see, if one door closes, your plan A this new year, it's not a problem. It's an opportunity for another door to open. You see, there's no problems, just opportunities in life when you have faith, when you have hope, when you have love in your heart. You see, in this great nation, we've taken faith, God, out of everything. Everything. But I think God is within this. He's within COVID. He's within the vaccine or no vaccine. I think God's surrounding us and asking us the question, can we make our problems an opportunity, or are we going to make our problems a complaint? We're going to make our problems an excuse for being mediocre. What I believe is the people that I've studied in my life, not all of them, but many of them, they'd like to be mediocre. You see, most people like to just fit in and be nice and have everything be clean and okay. Well, guess what? It's not clean right now. Things aren't okay right now. There are definitions of people that people don't like. There are communities and cultures that are vying for each other and against each other. There is more division than I've seen since I've been alive. But I come to you to say, as it says in the scriptures, Ephesians chapter 3, verse 10, now to him who is able to accomplish far more than all we ask or imagine by the power and work within us. Now, to him who is able to accomplish far more than all we ask or imagine by the power and work within us. Now, I want you to say that wherever you're at with me. Now, to him who is able to accomplish far more than all we ask or imagine by the power at work within us. One more time, say that. Now to him, who is him? To God, who is able to accomplish far more than we can ask or imagine by the power at work within us. No problems, just opportunities. Is that your message? That's the message I came to share with you today. But for most people, that's not the message. More problems, more problems, more problems, more failures. And I get it. You know, we're up to 19%, they're saying, of youth 12 to 17 who have major depression. That's a problem. 12 years old, I was worried about like pixie sticks and those little candy, put those candy things in the sugar, and what were those called? The Fun Dip or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I worry about pixie sticks and Fun Dip. What's depression? A 12-year-old's got depression? Are you serious? Like, what are you thinking about? Like that 19% of this great nation, they say, have major depression. Over 2.5 million youth, they use it in a different way, have severe depression. 40% of adults have reported anxiety or depression symptoms, up 10% before the pandemic. 40%. So that's just depression, not counting all the unemployment, not counting all of the alcohol addiction that's gone up, the drug addiction that's gone up. So I get it. The COVID situation and the pandemic creates problems, right? But what I've come to share with you today is that this year is the year of opportunity. It's your opportunity to say, yes, there are great problems, but this year is not a problem. This year is the year to make it an opportunity. We need to be like the people of the past who said, you know what? There are problems with racism. There is. There are problems with poverty. There are. There are problems with people throwing God out of the country and wanting to kind of force us to do that. And that is a problem, that I go and love God, therefore you're going to treat me different. Or somebody doesn't love God, therefore I treat them different. That's ridiculous. That's a problem. They're a mother, they're a father, they're a sister, they're a brother. What matters is that I and all of you can take the love of God inside our hearts and treat people the way that God intended us to treat them, whether they believe what we believe or not. This year is an opportunity to fail at something great, because I believe that it would be greater to fail at something great than to do something good and just be mediocre. I don't know about you, but I'd rather die and they say, you know what? That guy wasn't perfect, but he loved with everything he had. This guy wasn't perfect, but you know what? He did his best to maybe change the world and make a difference. I don't know what you want, but I'd rather fail at doing something great than succeed at just quick, good things that we can do. You see, he who has failed the most doesn't give up. Did you know that? Did you know that? You see, there's a study, and you can read the book. I always love to joke about this book. It's why A students work for C students. I love the book, not because I was a C student, but that's probably why. But I love the book because you know what it says? It says a C student has learned how to fail. Therefore, when it gets tough, they don't give up. I also learned that Martin Luther King Jr., Billy Graham, these people, these orators that I've studied, they have ADD like I did. You see, they were all over the place. But I didn't realize that they had problems, and they went through. But see, they made their problems opportunity. And today's our day that we have to ask ourselves, are we willing to fail at something great? We have to rethink our problems. What are they? What are the problems you're going through? And how can we make this year a year of opportunity? In little ways, in big ways. But not in mediocre ways, because you can do the little things in a great way. Now, let me talk about somebody for a second. It's somebody that we all know is one of my favorite historical figures. Rocky Balboa. All right? Rocky Balboa. Now, when you hear his name, I see from the crowd that people smiling. Why do people smile when you hear Rocky? That's probably how I'm saying it, but that's a whole nother problem. Rocky Balboa. Now, I love this. If you study the Rocky Balboa films, the guy's record was like 5-4 of the fights on film. He lost almost as many. I think it was 5-3 or 5-4. He lost almost as much as he won in the films. But why do we like him? Because he never gave up. He took a chance. He was 1,000,000-to-1 shot. We all love that. You know why? Because inside every one of us is that little 1,000,000-to-1 shot. We all love that because we say, there's greater glory in failing at doing something great than rising at something mediocre. Chris Rock, he's saying that the mediocre thing is like taking your kid to Chuck E. Cheese, right? He says you should take your kids to Chuck E. Cheese. That's what every dad's supposed to do. You know, we shouldn't be getting excited and wanting praise for all these little things that we're doing. What we should do is do those things with great love, with great excitement, with great encouragement, with great hope. And it's not easy with everything we're going through. It's like another great gift. Vince Lombardi. Anybody know this guy? The coach of the Green Bay Packers. You know this guy? Well, what you don't know about this guy is he lived in New Jersey. Now, I don't know about you. I lived in New Jersey. New Jersey, Green Bay. I mean, seriously. Anybody that goes from, you want to live in Green Bay, Wisconsin, or New Jersey? I mean, sorry for all you Wisconsin people, but the bottom line is, that's a problem. I'm not going to move to Green Bay. But what he said was, his daughter said, why are we moving to Green Bay, Dad? He goes, because nobody knows where it is on the map. But when I'm done with it, he said, I'm going to put it on the map. Now, you might say he's prideful, but Vince Lombardi says this: winners never quit, and quitters never win. That's what Vince Lombardi said. And if we want to win for our country, for our God, for our family, for the future, we have to believe that we can do something far beyond what we could ask or imagine because of him who's at work within us. And you know what? Do you know where Green Bay is? Do you know who the Green Bay Packers are? You know why? Because Vince Lombardi believed he could do that. But what about the problem? We've got racism as a problem. We know that. And people talk about it all the times. And as Martin Luther King Jr. has all taught us, right? Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. That's what Martin Luther King Jr. said. He said, hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can drive out hate. Martin Luther King Jr. said this. Now, was Martin Luther King Jr. perfect? If you know his story, he was far from it. But he said, I'm going to do something great. And we all know, like Barbershop, the movie says, Rosa Parks wasn't the only person that sat her black down, like we all know that. There are a lot of black people that, sat down. There are a lot of black people that stood up for the movement. But bottom line is this, Martin Luther King Jr. was speaking for those people and took a shot. They took a chance. And right now, we can look at all the problems and go, woe is us, this is impossible. But let me tell you something. This is the year not to focus on our problems. This is the year to make our problems an opportunity. See, there are no problems when we have faith. They're just opportunities. Sure, they're there. Sure, they're real. But we can take that problem and say, I'm going to go help people fire extinguish depression. Maybe you're going to be that person. I'm going to be the person to help heal people of cancer. Maybe you're the doctor to do that. It happened to me this year. If you don't know, I started coaching basketball. Why? Because I'm 6'5"? Yeah, not really. All right? But the bottom line is, I'm coaching basketball because God put it on my heart to say, yeah, people, it's blacks versus whites, whites versus blacks. And I want to say, I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm going to go and help these kids. I'm going to go to their houses. I'm going to go eat with their families. I'm going to go care for them. And you know what? I'm no better than anybody else, but I got to at least do something. And so what I'm saying is this. Yes, there's problems. But each one of us can make a difference by realizing that God has an opportunity for every one of us. And what about Mother Teresa? Did she make a problem an opportunity? Now, I've been to India. You might have not been to India, but I've been there. And when I went to India, you gotta understand something. Everybody's on the street. When you go to India, there's people everywhere. You can't not see the poverty. Mother Teresa in India found out there's a lot of problems. She was from Albania. She moved to India with her community of nuns and said, I'm not afraid. She said this. She said, we fear the future because we're wasting today. She knew there was no problems. She knew there was just opportunities. See, she didn't waste her life. Can everything change in one moment like this? No way. But today's the day that we dig down deep and ask ourselves, like, I have a dream, and it might not be your dream, but it's my dream. I hope on December 21st, one day, that every city in the nation will be closed because there's too much giving. Now, I'm not saying that's going to, change the world or something, or I'm some great guy. I'm just saying, like, that's something that we can do that would be great. But it's deeper than that. When on December 21st this year, we went and handed out gifts and just gave for Christmas so they can get ready. And there were kids crying. I haven't gotten a gift. I didn't know if I was going to get a gift. I had a mother who said, I was waiting for my daughter to pick her up from the bus stop. And she says, I prayed that I'd find a way to get gifts for my kids for Christmas this year because I didn't have the money. And all of a sudden she walks down the street and there's this big bus there giving out gifts. But did I know, and did all of the volunteers and people that helped out with that, from our staff, and did we know that that lady's great prayer of please give me a gift was going to be answered? No. But guess what? Through believing and having faith and hope and love, I hope one day the whole country will give on December 21st, and the mayor say, too much giving today. Everybody stay in house. It's like, you stay in house for COVID, you're going to have to stay in house for giving, right? Why not? Why not? You see, today's the day that we be like Mother Teresa, that we say, what is it that this year we can take these problems and make them into an opportunity? Some of the greatest problems have been going, for me in my life, going to an event as a 29-year-old man and saying, just because I was asking the question, did you ever want to give up on life? Raise your hand. I saw a bunch of people raise their hands, and I asked the question more detail. Is any of you ever wanted just to end your life recently? And at 29 years old, all of a sudden I asked them to come forward so we could give them a hug, let them know, never give up. In that moment, there were over 20 people that came up, and over half of them were adults. I was thinking just the kids would come up. But the adults came up. In that moment, when I did that event in Vermont, it was the day I said, we got to do something about people that are suffering, that people are hurting. And it's why our vision is to make a world where no one suffers alone. But it wasn't, that vision didn't happen because everything was great. That vision happened because there was a problem. And we're looking at these problems, and God's saying, are you going to make it the opportunity for you? You see, we got to change our mentality. How do we look at these problems so they can be an opportunity of change? Like right now, did you ever get, in my own life, I get a call from the doctor. And they say, just so you know, we got to do more testing. Because you know what? It could be a lot worse than we think. I'm sure some of you have gotten that call like I have. But when you get a call like that, you realize that your problem helps you to be more grateful. You realize that your problem helps you to be more kind. Helps you to believe in a vision or a mission or your faith in God more. See, I think we need to look at all the problems of this world today. And I think we need to look them square in the eyes and say, how are we going to make these problems an opportunity? Because I know one thing, I've been saying it for years. I could die today. And so could you. But are we making our problems an opportunity? Or are we making our problems more problems? Today is the day we make a definite decision to believe in our hearts that these problems are here to speak the truth. That there's an opportunity for you and for you and for you and for me to make a difference in this world. Now, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, everyone. If this is a year of an opportunity, if you believe that, how are you going to make your problems an opportunity? How are you going to make the problems that you face in your life an opportunity of change? You see, there's a lot of people right now going through a lot of things, but they got to admit they have a problem, believe that they can do something about it, and commit to make a change. No problems, just opportunities. That's what I'm here to talk about. And today's the day that we can make a difference. The greater the problem, the greater the opportunity. Now, I can't but close with one last problem that I want to talk about. And it's with sin. It's with mistakes we make. See, when we make mistakes, we want to think that we're the problem. And yeah, we might be making a problem because of our mistakes we made. But the beautiful thing about being Christian, the beautiful thing about living for Jesus is this. The greatest problem of all mankind was sin. Somebody that leaves their family. Somebody that does some horrendous thing that they think I can never be forgiven of. Somebody that murders somebody. Or somebody that just does something where, man, I screwed up that night. I messed up. I hurt somebody. And God said, I'm going to take the greatest problem of all mankind, which is Jesus Christ dying on the cross for sin. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to solve all the problems. You see, he solved the problem through the greatest problem. And what does that mean? That he said, I'm going to take the greatest problem and make it the greatest opportunity of all time. So if God says I can make the greatest problem of all time, the greatest opportunity, then all of our problems, we can choose to make this a year of opportunity now. As the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so that whoever believes in him might not perish, but might have eternal life. For as verse 17 says, which people forget about, don't forget about this. For God did not send his Son into this world to condemn you or me. He sent his Son into the world that we might be saved through him. Whoever believes in him will not be condemned, 18 says, but whoever does not believe has already been condemned because he has not believed in the name of the only Son of God. Today, the question is, maybe we can't make our problems opportunities. Maybe we just can't do that. You want to know why? Because we don't have Jesus. That's why. You see, Jesus is the one that gives us the answer for the problems. He's the one. He is the way, the truth, the life. He is mightier than our problems. He is the one that can fulfill the wrongs and make them right. He is the one that can say, hey, you're not good enough. And he says, no, I believe you're good enough because I died for you. You think you're not worthy enough? Well, I think you're worthy. I'm going to show you. I think I can't do this. Well, I'm going to show you you can do this. And you know how he did that? He did that through the greatest problem of all mankind. Getting beaten, getting slaughtered, getting destroyed. And why? So he could give you the opportunity today to look at all the problems that are going on and say, I'm going to be like Jesus. I'm going to go make them an opportunity. Let's do it. Because that's not what I hear when I go into circles. I hear everything's a problem. I hear everything's a problem. Everything's a problem. This is a problem. That's a problem. Who hears that? This problem, that, and this world's going down. Look where it's going. Oh no, and this sucks. This is garbage. You know what I want to hear? I want to hear this year how all of you listen to this made this year the year of opportunity. You don't like Christ? Well, he took his problems and made an opportunity. Let's be like Christ. Let's be like him, the greatest person of all mankind. Let's make our problems an opportunity. How are we going to do that? I want you to comment right now. How can you make a problem an opportunity? Let's put our energy into that. Let's put our energy into that. No problems, just opportunities.